now.
Right, how nice to see you, Clayto. This morning I'm talking to Clayto, who is an ex-student at Noble Academy School, and he's come to tell us something about his life there. So it's lovely to see you. Now, we've known you for a long time, but can you tell us something about your early life before you went to Noble, Clayto?
Yeah, sure. Hello, my
Hello.
name is Clayton. I originally came from Burma in Karen State.
Okay.
But my family decided to move to the border in Thailand back in 2005.
Okay.
The reason why we moved to the border was because of war and the fighting between Karen army and Burmese army.
Mm-hmm.
So we are looking for a safer place. So we decided to move to Noble village. And then when we got to Noble village, because at that time I'm very young, so I need to go to school. So that in the village, we have two schools. One is Thai government school and one is Noble Academy School.
Mm-hmm.
But Noble Academy School is very famous for teaching English. And then students who go to Noble Academy School, who graduate from Noble Academy School, tend to get a better job.
Okay.
Go to.
How long were you at Noble for, Clayto?
I was in Noble for 8 years.
Okay.
Can you tell us something about your time there?
Yes. So I studied at Noble Academy School for 8 years. I started in grade 5 and I went all the way to grade 12. There we call that special 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say my last 3 years were my favorite. Because when I first started at Noble Academy School, I could not speak English. I did not know any English at all. I could not speak Thai. I could not even speak Korean because I came from Burma, so I speak another type of Korean. I speak Korean language. But when I came to Noble Academy School, people there speak Korean, so I have to learn another language called Korean. And then the reason why I say I like my last 3 years were my favorite because by the time I get to grade 10, I was able to speak some English. I was able to communicate with my volunteer teachers. I still remember, like every morning we have a Bible study there. So before we start the class, we have a Bible study for 30 to 45 minutes. But every morning they need someone to translate it for them. So every morning they will pick one student to come and translate it for them. So sometimes they came and they picked me. So every time they pick me, I felt very, very good, very great, like very proud of myself that they chose me, you know, I felt very great.
What did going to Noble give you that other schools couldn't?
Definitely, the first one will be the language, the English language.
Yeah.
You know, because in Thailand, if you want to study English, you either have to go to the private school or international school, which is very, very expensive. But at Noble Academy School, we have missionaries who are volunteer. They are native speaker. They came and they teach us English like for free. So we get to study with the native speaker. We get to communicate with them. And then also when you study the language, you just don't study a language, you study how to think in that language. So they will share us about their life back in their country. So we get to know about outside of our village.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the language we got there is amazing. And then the second one is definitely about the gospel, the good news, the Bible. Because as you know, in Thailand is a Buddhist country. Only 1% or less than 1% who are Christian. Every Thai school, if you go to Thai school, the first thing they do in the morning is you have to do a Buddhist prayer. But no, it's different, opposite. Before we start school every day, the first thing we do is they pray for us and then they teach us the Bible for 45 minutes. That is amazing. You could not find any school like that in Thailand.
And I mean, you've moved on from Noble now. So what have you you know, what have you done since you left? What was your time at Noble? What did it enable you to do?
Yes, after I graduated from Noble Academy School, God brought me some amazing, some generous people into my life, and they wanted to support me to go to university.
Yeah.
And then they asked me if I wanted to go to university. I accepted their offer. That was the biggest decision I ever made in my life.
Mm.
And after I graduated from Noble Academy School, I go to university here in Chiang Mai at Payap University.
Yeah.
But studying at the university is not that easy because I came from a very small village and then moving into a big city. Also, at the school, everything you have to write by using your pen. But at the university, you have to type everything on the computer. You know, also everything at the university, I have to write my assignment in English. Everything's done in English.
Mm.
So especially my first year, it was very, very hard. I had to fight through it. I have to try very, very hard. I did not give up. And then within 4 years, I graduated and got my degree in English communication, the Bachelor of Art English Communication.
Yeah.
But after I graduated from Payap University, I went to New Zealand. I go to the Bible College. Yeah, that is another big thing for me too, to move to another country, to New Zealand. I studied there for 1 year. After I graduated from New Zealand, then I told myself, because God has blessed my life so much, so I want to bless other people too. So I wanted to come back to Thailand to help other people, to bless other people, just like God has blessed my life. So I came back to Thailand, and I start applying for a job. And then I got my first job, and I work with American exchange students. So they came to Thailand to learn about Thai language, Thai culture, how the people in Thailand live. So I work just like a tour guide. I tour them around and teach them and show them around Thailand and teach them about Thai culture, Thai language, everything.
Right.
But sadly, COVID hit Thailand, and then the country shut down. We have to send all our students back to their country. Also, our organization shut down. So I lost my job there. And then I lost my job for 2-3 months, and then I start applying for a new job. And then there I got another job at this organization called Within Reach Global. They are a Christian organization. Their main goal is to take the gospel to the unreached people group, to share the gospel. So I applied for this job, and then I got a job there. So I have been working for Within Reach Global for 1 year already. So my main role is Thai Outreach Department. So every 2 weeks, I will take my team to go to a village, to a non-believer village. We will go there to evangelize, to share the gospel, to teach the Bible to the village everywhere we go. So I travel all around Thailand to share the gospel to the Thai people, to the current people, to the Hmong people, to the every people that I meet along the way. That is my job.
Very good. Thank you very much indeed, Clayton. It's been most interesting talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.